On January 4th of this year, 2025, the governor of Pennsylvania enacted and passed and put into effect a law requiring wholesalers to hold a license in order to wholesale real estate. In today's video, we're going to go over this act, this law once again. I'll let you all know what you need to do in order to protect yourself and how you can still wholesale real estate in the state of Pennsylvania, and what this means for the broader economy of wholesale real estate and real estate investing. So please be sure to comment down below your thoughts on this, like this video, and subscribe. All right, so on July 8th, and I discussed this on this channel before, Governor Josh Shapiro signed Act 52, the Wholesale Real Estate Transaction Transparency and Protection Act, into law, which requires real estate wholesalers to obtain licensing and grants additional protections to property owners in wholesale transaction. So right here, they go over what wholesaling is, right? And they actually do a decent job of explaining wholesaling. I know a lot of people are confused by wholesaling, but yeah, they actually did a good job. Say, a property owner and a wholesaler execute a contract in which the wholesaler will purchase the property for $200,000, but the contract allows the wholesaler to assign the contract to another buyer. The wholesaler then assigns the contract to an investor for a higher price, $210,000, and pockets $10,000 as an assignment fee. The wholesaler essentially acts as the middleman and never owns the property, and then profits the difference between the original contract price and assignment fee. Due to its profitability, this practice is immensely popular. Real estate wholesalers typically seek distress or undervalue homes, and they often use tactics such as, all these other things. Okay, all of this is fine. Yes, you're in business to make a profit. Yes, you use this is the different marketing strategies. However, real estate wholesaling has generated significant controversy because of its potential for misleading tactics. For instance, complaints have arisen in recent years about some wholesalers taking advantage of senior citizens and other vulnerable individuals who do not know their home's true market value or who were not informed that they were a party to a wholesale transaction. That is true. Unfortunately, there has been a rise on that, and I'm against that. I'm against taking advantage of, especially, citizens in society that may not know the value of their property or have access to this information, just different things like that. Now, I know of course, you want to get a deal, you want to get a discount, but you can still make sure this person is living right after they sell you the property and whatnot. But Act 52 aims to quell these concerns by requiring real estate wholesalers to obtain licensing and by promoting greater transparency in wholesale transaction. The Act amends the Real Estate Licensing and Registration Act by expanding the definition of broker and salesperson to include any person who engages or attempts to engage in a wholesale transaction. All brokers and salesperson are required to obtain licensing under Section 301 of the RELRA. RELRA. The Act defines a wholesale transaction as undertaking to promote the sale, exchange, or purchase of an equitable interest or other interest in residential property, with the intent to assign, sell, or otherwise transfer the interest for a fee, commission. Yeah. So here it's just saying that this thing it expands what it means to be a broker or salesperson. So that includes doing these things, doing these wholesale transactions. Because before, wholesalers would be like, well, I'm not a broker, I'm not an agent, I don't need a license. But essentially here they're saying, they're expanding that definition, saying that if you do these things, you're essentially acting as a broker and you need licensing just like any other agent does. And so that's what this act is really pushing. And so I know other people are saying, oh, it's not really saying you need a license. I mean, it's pretty clear. Like, they're using the terminology that us wholesalers use: equitable interest, assignments, and all these things. Like, they're pretty clear on what they're requiring about wholesaling in this state. So Act 52 also permits a consumer, defined in Section 201, as a person who is the recipient of any real estate service to cancel contracts for wholesale transaction by the 30th day after the date of execution or conveyance of the property, whichever occurs first. When these contracts are canceled, the wholesaler must refund all payments of any kind made by the consumer. Further, all contracts for wholesale transactions must prominently disclose the following information. So this is about disclosure, transparency, and the ability for the seller to cancel by the 30th day after the date of execution. So these are some of the things that they need to disclose. A statement that the contract is for a wholesale transaction as defined in the Act. A statement that the consumer has the right to obtain an appraisal of the property and consult with a licensee under RELRA. It's probably, these things are really pushed by agents, which is fine, but, agents feel competition from wholesalers. Who is not affiliated with the wholesaler or the wholesaler broker, or seek legal counsel before or after entering into the contract. So this is super interesting because essentially what this is saying is that, yes, you have to disclose that this person has a right to obtain an appraisal of the property and consult with an agent. But this agent can't be affiliated with that wholesaler company. Now, the next disclosure is a statement that the consumer has the right to cancel the contract by the 30th day after the date of execution or conveyance. Yeah, that's what we read about. A statement that within 10 days after the receipt of the notice of cancellation, all payments of any kind. Yeah. Usually you don't really receive any payments. Maybe like EMDs, like if there is a deposit. No, but usually I give that to the seller. So I don't understand that, but interesting. But Act 52 would take place January 4th, 2025. So it's enacted. All right. And so if you are engaged in the business of real estate wholesaling, it is imperative that you immediately obtain the licensing required under the RELRA and that you include the 4 above reference items in your future contracts for wholesale transaction. The real estate and construction group at Tucker, whatever, will continue to monitor Act, including all case law. So this is it. It's enacted, and what does that mean for you, and what can you do if you're wholesaling in this state? Now, one thing that you can do, you can have an agent. You can just get your license. Honestly, just get your license. Maybe just do that. I think that's your best route. It doesn't seem like getting your license is that difficult. And then maybe you can have someone who works for you, but this person can't be like an agent that the seller actually goes to for advice, because there's a conflict of interest. But if you have a business and one of your employees has their license, maybe that can help you too. So, there's different ways you can do this. But what impact does this have on wholesaling? I just think that this is going to spread across America, and you're going to see more and more states requiring some sort of disclosure or licensing in order to wholesale real estate. But then, does that expound to being a landlord and holding rentals, of flipping properties and other things like that? Like, what more licensing, permitting that will we need to go through in order to stimulate the economy or invest? Now, I understand they do make valid points that people do take advantage of people, and people rob people of their houses just to make their money. And there's an issue with just the constant text or the constant phone calls that an individual may receive, especially if they don't know how to use technology, how to block people, how to say no, and things of that nature, or even find information about the value of their property. Because yes, your property does need work, but instead of selling it for 10 grand, maybe you can still sell it for 60 grand, and this wholesaler can still make money. The flipper can still make money. And so they do have valid points, even though a lot of this is spearheaded by real estate agents who feel competition. They still have a point there. Now, if you all have any questions on this, please let me know down below. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment down below, and I'll talk to you all later.